December 29th, 1835, the Treaty of New Icata cedes all Cherokee lands east of the Mississippi to the... This one's a little depressing. Let's see what else we got. December 29th, 1845, following the Manifest Destiny Doctrine, the U.S. annexes Texas, something without disrespecting natives. December 29, 1890, the Wounded Knee Massacre. Jesus fucking Christ.
Welcome to The Revisionists. I'm Brian Flynn.
I'm Zach Powers.
And joining us in the flesh, the man himself, Jordan Dahl.
Hi, my voice is wrecked from a night of revelry.
Is it ever? Well, I don't know what that means.
Wrecked, R-E-K-T, which means
what?
It's still cool. Wrecked.
Oh, it has an apostrophe. That's how all the kids are saying erect.
I sound like I'm going through a second puberty.
Puberty into the new flesh.
Exactly.
And speaking of flesh, Zach Powers is here in that flesh.
Well, I'm always...
Look at that flesh.
My recording has also come... Every time my recording comes from my fleshy lips directly into a microphone.
I read some of the...
I have to edit out some of the flesh every time.
I read some of the reviews on iTunes.
It's a real Videodrome situation.
Very fleshy podcast.
But,
yeah, we go for the Cronenberg heads.
This time my fleshy lips are in Denver, and not just in Denver, they're in Brian's literal apartment.
And the rest of his head is due to show up next week.
They haven't been here in like a year and a half.
No, things have not really changed all that much.
Yeah, I thought you would have moved up in the world, but no.
Just kind of to the left in the world.
Yep, kind of slight. I used to be 2 feet to that direction.
There's a problem with the foundation. The whole apartment's moving.
It's true. Plate tectonics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's a good time to it's the new year coming up. It's our last episode of the year of our Lord 2018.
And what a year it has been.
What a year it was.
It's been a motherfucker.
It's been...
Can we say the main swear? It's been a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Swear of the year 2018, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But new year now. New year, new you. Everybody going to do their resolutions, right?
New year, new ears.
What are you going to do?
It's a weirdly optimistic turn from Zach.
Yeah, if I'm turning around for 2019. Senate investigations, let's go. I'm going to learn the words to "We Didn't Start the Fire" this year. What should be a unit on this show where we just do every "We Didn't Start the Fire"
every reference and "We Didn't Start the Fire."
That's a really good idea. Or at least for the year. This year's "We Didn't Start the Fire."
One of those is just like Coca-Cola, though. So
that'd be a good episode. Lots of history. They invented fucking modern Santa.
Yeah, that's true.
Episode 95, JFK blown away.
And it's the Coca-Cola War. It's like the Pepsi Coke Wars.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, who does Pepsi have? No Santa, that's for sure. Not even a Krampus. Pepsi Man.
What are we?
This weird skin tight,
one Sega Genesis
sexy
game
form. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yo, he was hot though. Pepsi Man can get it.
This was a real thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
Pepsi Man, dude.
What the fuck?
Oh, do yourself a favor. Just YouTube speed runs of the Pepsi Man game.
YouTube.
Turn the
Pepsi
lights
Man?
down, light some
Make
candles.
Sure you know about the Noid, right?
Yeah, yes, I know about the
What
Noid.
about Dot? What was he the logo
Oh,
for?
yeah.
I had the
Cool Spot.
NES
Cool Spot, yeah.
Dot.
Cool Spot was 7-Up.
Yeah.
Do you remember Fido Dido from Sprite?
What?
I think that's a little before you guys' time. Before, I think it was Sprite. It might have been 7-Up too, but he was a precursor to whatever the Cool Spot era was, and he was just like a cool dude. He was like me. He had kind of a Doug vibe to him.
What happened to Matt? We don't have no Spuds McKenzies nowadays.
There aren't many Mackenzies running around. Spuds Mackenzies.
Yeah.
Man. Is there look? I saw something that says Pepsi Man 2, so I don't know if that...
What?
Yeah, I guess it's like Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know.
It's this reboot culture, man.
I could do with a gritty Pepsi Man reboot.
Fucking Pepsi Man rises.
Killed and he gets revenge.
Sure.
Eli Roth attached to direct that baby.
Did you ever hear the thing about how when Crystal Pepsi came out, Coke released Tab Clear specifically designed as a product to tank Crystal Pepsi. They made this product and they released it, And they made it diet caffeine free because everybody already thought that Crystal Pepsi was diet and caffeine free. And they're like, I don't know. And they're like, no, it's a fully fledged soda. But Coke released Tab Clear and put it right next to Crystal Pepsi in the store so that people would associate the two and be like, oh, it's this caffeine free nonsense, and tanked both of them. Crazy, right?
Wow.
Genius. Cunning.
Corporate espionage. Did they pay off these store owners to put the Tab Clear next to the Crystal Pepsi?
I don't think they told anybody
Did they
anything.
order it by like the shade of the liquid? Is that how?
Yeah, so if you look down a soda aisle, it's just a gradient from light to dark.
Sure.
From Sierra Mist to what, I guess Mr. Pibb?
Yeah, that is the darkest soda. It's used in the blood rituals.
That's why Mr. Pibb lost his medical license.
Yeah. You want to stop at the Dr. Pepper? If you hit the code red, you've gone too far.
Yeah. Don't look directly at Code Red.
Yeah.
It's like a welding torch.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the aberration in there.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on Livewire.
Livewire. Ooh, Baja Blast. I'll fuck around with Baja Blast all day, though.
Nah, I fuck with Livewire. That was my Mountain Dew.
I do like that you can only get Baja Blast at Taco Bell at this point. Or it's like they're the only ones who are willing to fucking walk that dangerous line.
All like the weird color Mountain Dews, Taco Bell like has them on lock. I guess because they know if you're at Taco Bell, you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, do you remember when they were doing Mountain Dew wake ups at Taco Bell, where it's
What?
like
No.
it's like half orange juice, half Mountain Dew?
Oh.
Yeah, because they were just like, we know why you're here. It's 9 a.m.
It just like, got colder in here, like a ghost just passed by.
Hey, you guys want some of what we've been daring each other to drink?
That is how Taco Bell works. that is literally
what
how
happened
most of their
was
menu items happen.
The orange juice was next to the Mountain Dew because the color gradient. They fell over.
And somebody like mopping it up fell into it, and they're like, wait a minute.
Then they cooked him and made him into a soda.
Sure.
What do we do on this fucking
Wait a minute, do you think soda is cooked?
I don't know. You're the fucking host this week. I'm doing like work. I got sheets. It's not my job to keep it on track this time.
Listeners, if you're new to the show, each week we talk about a different soda and all the different variations in all the different Marvel universes. The Mountain Dew of Earth 616 and the Mountain Dew of Earth 2112.
Yeah, into the sodaverse this episode.
Oh, God damn it. We take a look
Man
at...
2, directed by Frank Miller.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh,
God.
How weirdly xenophobic can it get?
Yeah.
Every female character is a whore.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's bring Alan Moore on. Let's make that just a weird sex thing now.
Sure.
Each episode we take a topic from history. One person presents the actual version of events, and another person comes up with an off-the-wall, bonkers, bananas alternate history. And the winner gets to become the truth.
In the middle of our Stranded series.
Yes, we are. Which you made it sound more like a spring break thing than people dying
This
in
is
the
the
Arctic.
lightest Stranded episode. There's so few fatalities.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm not feeling great. We can something could happen.
Well, I don't know. Statistically, people are going to die during the episode, during your listening of this episode.
Oh boy! So congratulations to those dying. Smooth passage to the other side.
We'll put a quick in memoriam section at the end.
Wait, guys, if I die during this podcast, I want to be buried in this podcast.
Of course, we'll digitize your remains.
Sure. Wonderful.
And shoot you into max headroom. Last time we discussed
The Donner Party.
the Donner Party.
Oh god, that fucked me up.
Yeah.
I listened to a different podcast that went in depth on that recently, and like the grisly details, I had no idea. Horrifying.
Yeah, that.
They were some hungry folks.
Settlers, yeah,
hungry hill folk.
Yeah, that.
The Hungry Hippos offshoot that they spawned is less popular.
Hungry hopefuls.
Yeah, no. Originally, in the 1800s, the board game was Hungry Humans,
Yeah.
based on the Donner Party.
Only because hippos hadn't been discovered yet.
The balls had children's faces on them,
Sure,
so you
sure,
had to. God, I hate myself. And the winner.
Did you say you ate yourself?
Yes, a little bit. It works because it recycles. The winner of the audience vote was still the alternate history, which involved a little bit of Ratatouille. Let's just leave it
It
at
was the normal story, but Ratatouille was there.
yeah, I mean, more or less.
People love Ratatouille.
It's not even the character's name.
It's not. It's Remy.
In this one, it was Rolo, I think, just
Okay.
for some reason that I fear Disney. But thank you to Jen Kolick for the in-depth and grisly actual history on that. Mm-hmm. This episode, we're discussing Ernest Shackleton.
Ooh.
Jim Varney himself. Mm-hmm. Zach, you've got the actual history.
I do.
And Jordan will be doing the alternate. But whenever you're ready, Zach, take it away.
All right. I'll be ready in about, I'm going to say 3 minutes.
Cool. We'll just chill. Hey there, this is Brian reminding you that The Revisionist is supported by listeners just like you. You can make a pledge and get rewards like shirts and even the right to vote over at patreon.com/therevisionists.
Born February 15th,
Thank you for
1874.
not doing that.
In Ireland. So Ernest, he grows up around Dublin, moves to London. His dad's pursuing medicine, becoming
Ernest
a doctor.
goes to London.
Yeah, Ernest goes to London, the
As it
classic.
were.
You know, I'm sure what does he do in London? He
I'll
fucking,
drive on the wrong side of the street.
Big Ben's broken, but I fixed it. Whatever.
Yeah.
the
Oh,
fuck.
Jesus! If Ernest goes to London, he's definitely ending up like on the outside of Big
yeah.
Ben,
Oh,
yeah, of
hanging
course.
from the thing.
Buster Keaton style, hanging from that.
Oh, and he's been waiting all day for high tea to roll around. You know, he's like, I really want to try some of this high tea. I hear it's at 4:00. And when he's on there, he's like, oh no, 4:00, high tea.
Can we get those trolls that hate milk back?
God damn it.
No, he eradicated them.
Oh, right.
It was a genocide
of the trolls.
for sure. That was
That
the
was the
last
original
troll.
working title. Ernest genocides the trolls.
Ernest goes to town on an entire race of mythical trolls.
Regardless. Now troll-free, Ernest moves to London, and he's very restless. He's noted as restless in school, despite being a voracious leader. He dislikes that teachers make poetry a task, something you have to dissect and like analyze, because he thinks you should just appreciate its beauty, man.
I agree with him.
Yeah. This is a quote. He was apparently so restless in school, he was allowed to leave at 16 and go to sea.
Cool. That's what they did when you had ADD back then.
Yeah.
Now it's just like shop class, but then I guess they just put you on a boat.
Yeah, there was the saying. There was a sign in every classroom: ADD, go to sea.
We don't have Ritalin yet, so go find it on an island. I don't know.
He takes a before the mast, which means
Jesus.
standard sailor apprenticeship.
Let the sea take him. Wow. Brutal.
On a ship called the Houghton Tower. So,
Very British.
yeah. He quickly rises up the ranks. He sees the world, discovers different cultures. By the time he's 24, he's gone from apprentice to second mate, first mate. Now he's a master mariner.
All right. Wait, is that not a captain?
I guess it says it said it allows him to command a British ship anywhere in the world.
That sounds like if
It's like an international captain.
if there was like a World of Warcraft rank that was captain, Master Mariner is above captain.
Yeah,
For sure.
Totally.
That sounds like he skipped captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Master Mariner is like, you are the number one at the PvP rankings on your server.
Master Mariner comes with a trident, for sure.
He thought captain was hacked.
Aquaman
so
in
he's,
theaters now.
Yeah.
Master Mariner. It's also like a video game from maybe like 10 years ago. But it was really shit out by like one of those low-end production
Yeah.
companies.
Fuck, what was that dolphin game when you
Oh,
played?
Echo the Dolphin?
Echo the Dolphin.
Echo the Dolphin was awesome. I was more thinking like
Ripping off Halo, maybe?
or like remember when like Sega was really looking for or even PlayStation were really looking for a mascot, and so they were like Crash Bandicoot, and there was like Blinks the Bobcat or Jack and Daxter, Master Mariner. What do you want? What do you want?
Fuck it, put out Gex 2, enter the
Yeah.
Gecko again.
Master Mariner was my favorite bottom shelf cereal.
So he starts to run a mail.
Also Night Trap 2, Master Mariner.
He becomes the captain of a mail and passenger carrier, where he is noted to occasionally quote lines of poetry, but is otherwise regarded as a pretty good captain.
We carry mail and passengers. Only male passengers. And mail on top of the mail.
This is
mail.
a boy boat. Only boys.
During the Boer War, he meets an army lieutenant whose father, Llewellyn Longworth, finances Antarctic expeditions. And he's so impressed by Shackleton, he's like, let's get you to the Antarctic, my boy. And he gets him on the Discovery expedition, which ends his career doing merchant work, though the Union Castle Company officially has him listed as, quote, on leave.
Okay. Still to this day?
As far as I'm aware, there was no
Very
resolution.
extended leave.
So the Discovery is commanded by a man named Robert Falcon Scott, also
Hell
a video
yeah.
game
Cool.
character, I
Fuck
think.
yeah. That's one
Yeah,
of,
Captain Falcon.
Yeah,
that's
I
one
think
of,
he
that's
is.
one of
Right. He's in the new Super Smash.
It's one of Star Fox's flying buddies.
Yeah, maybe he's one of the evil ones. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I can't keep him straight. Like
Sure.
the evil Falco.
Star Wolf? Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless, so despite his name, he looks like sort of a boring, doughy guy who might be
come
an
on.
extra during a Mad Men business meeting.
Come on,
Like
guy.
one of the Mad Men extras who sort of, like, his hair changes very dramatically over the seasons.
Dude, if your middle name is Falcon, do a pull up. Like I'm a doughy guy, but my name is Jordan Doll. I'm a squishy little doll.
You were born into it. Like,
If I was Jordan,
2-pack minimum if your middle name is
Totally.
Falcon.
yeah,
totally, or at least like gouge an eye out.
Yeah.
you should be able to kill a vole.
Sure.
Just with your bare hands.
2 abs or 3 scars. That's what it comes down to. Dealer's choice.
Totally.
Man, your Falcon might be decertified, actually. Might be downgraded.
So, basically, Shackleton is supposed to analyze the seawater for the voyage. He manages provisions as well as, quote, arranging the entertainment.
for the boat.
I guess.
Analyzing the seawater wasn't enough entertainment for these jolly sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Come look, it's a bit cloudy. Gather round.
I like to assume that he put on like an amazing production of Spring Awakening.
So why do you need to analyze the seawater? Still wet.
They're figuring out what's going on in the Antarctic.
The boat
I guess.
should hold.
Is the water different up there? Maybe. It's a mystery spot still. No one had ever been to the South Pole at this point. That's important later.
The water is actually Baja Blast the closer
Sure.
you get to the
Ooh,
South Pole.
God, I'd never leave.
Yeah,
That's why Taco Bell has a mining operation
Sure.
down there.
A flotilla.
Yeah, so they're fracking the South Pole. They're ruining
Just
it.
a big fucking Taco Bell oil
Yeah,
rig.
it's just greedy for Moss Baja Blast.
Yeah, they just have they're working people to the bone. They got to get that 4th meal.
We're up to 3rd meal. My God, we've discovered a 5th meal. Seal it. Seal the mine. No one can ever find out about 5th meal.
Chipotle's doctors have 6 meal. Strike now.
Yeah.
Of course, Indiana Jones. This meal belongs in a museum. That was a terrible proposed sequel.
Yeah, that's really when product placement hit its peak.
Yeah. Regardless, while in New Zealand, Shackleton also went on an experimental balloon flight.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
So, while they're iced in near the Antarctic, he edits the expedition magazine, the South Polar Times. I don't know what the readership was on that.
Very forced readership,
Probably
actually.
pretty high, I'd imagine.
It's carved on sealskin. What is it?
Yeah, it didn't give me
Well,
the
yeah,
details.
wait, where
We'll
the fuck
have
did
to-
they print this also?
Yeah, I assume editing just means he was handwriting it.
Yeah.
Unless they brought a press, which seems like quite an accommodation.
A lot, yeah.
Regardless, he is the most popular officer among the crew. That's going to be a recurring theme in his life. He's a very popular, likable dude.
Cool.
He's informal. He's laid back. Old
Spouting
Scott,
poetry.
Falcon Scott's fucking a tight ass who wants everything done military style.
Shackleton talks in rhymes, apparently.
So Scott chooses Shackleton and another dude for a march on the pole.
Cool.
They don't think they're probably going to make it, but they want to at least get the farthest latitude, like set the latitude record. It's kind of a mixed success. They do set that record, but they give their dogs some tainted food, and all 22 of them die.
Oh my god.
No.
That's the major death.
Who gave these dogs Baja Blast? What is this, live wire?
We wanted to see if the dogs could handle the
Oh my
refreshing
god!
taste of
I'm just
Baja
imagining.
Blast.
Remember that part in Last Jedi where the guy like touches the ground and licks it, and he's like, "It's salt." I'm just imagining that, but he's like, "It's Baja Blast."
Fourth meal.
Just like,
Dogs are never supposed to get above second meal.
This is an extremely difficult march because all their dogs are dead. Shackleton gets sick, and for the rest of his trip, while they're lodged in the ice, he's unable to fulfill his duties. He's mostly
you
bedridden.
can't inspect the seawater
Whoa,
anymore.
yeah, too bad. Yeah, there's no seawater out here.
And the first relief ship, there's a few relief ships that come to rescue these guys. It seems like that's pretty de rigueur for these Antarctic missions. And the first one that has Shackleton sent home by Scott because he's sick, but also because maybe there's a rivalry between them.
Oh.
Sure. Yeah, send home your more popular rival.
Yeah, it's said that after this point, Shackleton had a burning desire to return to the Antarctic and outdo Scott's expedition.
Well, also, the guy sort of saved his life, so come on.
Yeah,
It's a mixed bag. Shackleton returns. He heads up the recovery efforts for the Discovery briefly. Everybody comes home fine. He becomes a journalist for a minute. He marries and has 3 kids. He becomes secretary of the Royal Scottish Geographical Society.
Okay.
Basically, he lives in a Wes Anderson movie for a while.
Sure.
In fact, if I were to sum up this guy's whole life, it is basically Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah.
Because he does a lot of weird shit.
What's his dad like?
He was a landowner who gave it up to become a doctor.
Okay. Well, yep.
Yeah.
Everything's very centered in frame.
He loses some money in a speculative transportation deal about like transporting Russians from the Far East.
And
but
experimental balloons.
it doesn't work. It sounds like some kind of weird fucking Ponzi scheme that he invested in. He runs for office on a liberal unionist ticket and fails. He does a few other ventures. Finally, a wealthy man named William Breadmore, who he had worked for attracting clients for a while and was impressed by him, said, "I'll finance your Antarctic expedition, my good man." And so begins the Nimrod expedition of 1908.
Named after his favorite Green Day album.
Exactly, yeah. I wish I could remember. Yeah, the American Idiot Expedition. That's one. That's the next one.
No, and the other ones, of course. All the Green Day classics.
Yeah, Merry Punkmas or whatever their later albums were.
Yeah, a very slow. When they left port, it was a very slowed down. Do you have the time?
Yeah, a bunch of sailors singing it. Do you have the time to listen to me rhyme?
Everyone waving. Yeah.
And then, of course, when
Why
they come back.
Why they didn't go with Good Riddance, I don't know. It seems more appropriate.
And when they come back, it's I hope you had the time of your life.
I hope you have the time of your life.
Accordion and as they called it at the time, a Jew's harp in the mix.
I love it.
I'm so glad I remembered that because I was trying very hard for the last 40 seconds.
Regardless, Scott requests that Shackleton not use his Antarctic base camp during his trips. So Scott looks for alternative camps in the Bay of Whales, so named because they found like 100 whales there.
What a fucked up power move, though.
Yeah, I know.
Like, hey, I'm going to the South Pole. Can I stay in your place? It's the only place there. Oh, somebody's using it.
We might come by.
My
We don't
girlfriend's
know.
parents, they're not going to be staying there, but they might be coming through on their way to the North Pole.
Yeah,
so,
that's season
like,
3 of Crashing.
Yeah. That's
He also
fucked up,
looks
yo.
for a possible base camp on King Edward VII Island. Also not suitable. So
Chased off by King Edward VI.
So Shackleton is forced to use Scott's base camp anyway.
There you go. Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Wait, was Scott like even there at the time?
No.
Of course not. What a fucked up thing to do.
It's not like he can lock it. It's not like there's a fucking key.
Yeah.
Like, how can he stop him?
Yeah, no. It was a scandal for the South Polar Times.
Yeah, right?
It's the only issue where anything happened, except for that one, where the thing killed all those researchers. Anyways, on this, they do another march and they meet a new farthest latitude, beating Scott's record. Again, it's kind of a shit show. They're nearly starving on the way back.
Yeah.
And Shackleton, good guy Shackleton, gives up his final biscuit to one of his other crewmen, even though he himself was also starving. Because Shackleton's just a nice fucking captain.
I mean, it's a biscuit. What does that buy? What does a biscuit buy?
It's not like fucking Lembas bread, you know, or
Well,
like fucking.
the guy who received it said, I would have not traded that biscuit for all of the money in England and
say
will
that?
never have an equal meal.
Wow. Crazy. Here, have this Fig Newton. It'll buy you the afternoon.
I have half a Triscuit, but it is yours.
He ascends Mount Erebus, that's a new first, and he finds magnetic south, but does not get to the true South Pole. He
What?
says to his wife,
Why
Emily,
is there a difference between those?
I don't know.
Fine.
Fucking Magneto did it.
That's total bullshit.
Yeah, they were still looking for the X Trader, so they had to run it out a few more issues.
I'm calling bullshit on planet Earth for that one.
Yeah.
Magnetic South, that's the South Pole. Guys, that's the South Pole.
Hashtag not my South Pole.
Yeah, you're
I'm livid about this.
this is your weird take on the flat Earth thing, and it is not gaining steam because no one gives a fuck.
I give probably way too much of a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, we found the magnetic North Pole, but the actual pole, the barber pole.
Oh, that's the thing you're looking for. Just
Yeah.
the candy
Yeah.
striped.
Yeah.
Santa, get your ass over to that magnetic north. That's where you belong.
Now, Santa lives in North Pole.
Yeah.
South Pole is Randy Claus.
Is South. Oh, South. Okay.
They had a falling out, wanted to live as far as possible.
Santa Claus's chill brother, Randy Claus.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Randy Quaid.
No.
I'm like, yeah, no, I get why you want to be
Similarities,
on
for
the
sure.
complete opposite end of the earth as Randy Quaid.
Yeah, he changed his name to get away from the Claus onus.
Yeah.
It's like how people named Hitler.
Yeah,
had to
Santa
change.
Quaid is coming down the chimney.
Regardless, he says to Emily of his somewhat success, despite not making it to the true pole, a live donkey is better than a dead lion, isn't it? Now, I don't know what that means, but he said it.
I don't know that it is, especially if you're
Like, better for what? Yeah.
especially if you're like last biscuit starving. Eat that lion.
That's true. In that case, you do want a dead lion, assuming it's fresh.
Sweet, fresh lion meat,
And who likes Eeyore? He's a fucking downer.
right? You want to eat donkey or
So
lion?
it's just all these Arctic explorers and a cartoon donkey
Yeah.
with clinical depression.
Let me ask you guys this for serious. Would you rather eat donkey or lion?
Donkey.
Now, do you have to kill the beast?
Nope.
Lion. If it's dead anyway, go for the cream of the crop. Eat the king of the jungle.
Yeah, it's true. Then you become king.
Yeah.
Those are the rules. I think the chef would. It's like a prepared meal of like you're on an airplane to the South Pole, and they're like donkey or lion. I think I would go lion too if it was
Man,
prepared.
Lufthansa's really stepping it up.
You could probably eat donkey all over the fucking place. Where can you eat lion?
See, it's
that's
easy
true.
to say that here in the shelter of this podcast, but like out there in the world, if they put them in front of me, I'm probably taking the donkey.
Probably
I'm a
so.
coward.
The only people who take the...
Like,
At the end of the day,
at that point, they're both cooked. Like,
No, but I have.
the only people who take the lion are like that dentist and the Trumps.
Yeah.
yeah. That's
But it's like I'm so used to eating like ungulates and things of that nature that eating another carnivore would be like, ooh, I bet it's weird.
well. If we're like to contain it within one animal, it strikes me as like lion would be like the filet mignon, but donkey would be like the brisket, where it actually has sort of more flavor.
Maybe you could make some
Sure,
kind of
okay.
turducken out of the two of them.
Sure.
Get the most of both.
Turdonkin?
yeah, a dian or a lonky.
Yeah, Lonky. Anyway, a man's life was at stake.
Anyways,
Join us on Bon Appetit, I believe.
Shackleton becomes a hero in the UK. He publishes an account of his expedition. He records an account on Edison's fancy new phonograph.
The first podcast.
Yeah.
Edison catches him using his phonograph.
Shackleton
him off.
dives out the window,
Every episode
taking a pair of Edison's underwear with him.
Every episode had at least 2 minutes dedicated to promoting stamps.com. And in fact, some of the whiskey and brandy that was left behind by the Nimrod expedition was recovered in 2010.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That rules.
Didn't they like try to drink it and say it tasted very bad?
I think they did experiments on it to see how they made whiskey in the old days.
Oh, was it any different than how they make whiskey
Yeah.
now?
You know what? I didn't follow up on the whiskey experiments.
They made it out of lion.
Okay, yeah.
It's all lion squeezes.
Yes, lion-aged whiskey.
Lionade.
Shackleton gets knighted. He gets titles. He gets medals. He gets newspaper accolades. But secretly, the expedition left him severely in debt. He paid the most of his debts via a grant, and some of them were just forgiven
Oh,
Sure.
because,
That's cool.
he became famous. And famous
Yeah,
people-
that'll happen when you're like a explorer,
Yeah.
Batman figure.
What does he do in between his expeditions? He goes on the lecture circuit. He tries to start a mining operation in Romania.
Looking for Draculas, yeah.
I need money to finance my expedition to the West Pole and the East Pole and the North by North Pole.
And because, again, he lives in a Wes Anderson movie, he has what Wikipedia described as a, quote, scheme
Sure.
involving collectible stamps labeled King Edward VII Island
Wonderful.
that could be sold and collected at high prices.
Cool.
Because he has been titled the Antarctic Postmaster by New Zealand.
Wow. That might even be a caper.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is definitely on caper level.
Caper.
Out of all these schemes, only the lectures paid out. Everything else did not produce much money.
Really, the stamp thing didn't work.
Yeah, I don't even know how that was supposed to work.
Sure.
It's like the fucking trails from the fucking Donner Party episode. Like, how do you make money off of this? I don't understand.
So he says he's done with the Antarctic, but he still watches Scott's new expedition carefully in the papes. Meanwhile, a Norwegian man named Roald Amundsen
Sure.
finally makes it to the true South Pole.
Hey, all right. How does he know? I'm just not clear on like what the difference
Yeah,
is.
Randy Quaid is just standing there ready to greet
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he's got
He's got a
a
sign.
banner.
How did you find me?
Shackleton, maybe I don't know. It would seem because the compass would go crazy at magnetic.
I find it upsetting that you could make that mistake.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how far apart they are either, also.
That seems like some shit that
Like, I think like 100 some miles.
that seems like some shit that like one of these guys would pull to like keep glory from another. Like, no, that's not the real one. I've got the real one over here.
Now nobody knows who the fuck any of them are.
Sure.
So finally, Shackleton is roped into a plan for a new Antarctic expedition. But we've done everything. We've gone to True South. We've gone to Magnetic South.
To find the double secret South Pole.
Have we done an Antarctic continental crossing? We have not.
Okay.
Yeah, they're one up that game, baby.
Yeah.
So this is the Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition.
Good one.
The ships arrive on opposite. The plan is for the ships to arrive on opposite shores of Antarctica, right? Mm-hmm. Shackleton begins the walk with his crew, right? Mm-hmm. And while on the opposite shore, they're laying track as far into Antarctica as they can with supplies and shit along the way, so that he'll have supplies when he starts to reach the other side,
yeah.
waiting for him, right? So he recruits in an extremely weird manner. 5,000 people apply because this dude's famous. And some he just accepts on sight because he's like, I like you. I like your jib. We're doing it. Some are asked if they can sing as part of their interview process.
Sure.
What?
Because Shackleton thinks character is as important as skill.
Okay. He's wrong, but
Yeah, no, not at all. But also when you say character, do you mean like improv, like theater character?
Again, this is a very much, he's creating a life aquatic crew.
yeah, we need a Billy Crystal type of law.
Yeah, every expedition needs a Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
700 Sundays.
We need to do blackface and lift everybody's spirits.
56 men are selected, 28 per boat. It was noted that the meteorologist is also an able banjo player. So,
Yeah, of course, because you need a fallback career for your meteorology.
Sure.
now you may have noticed this is our series on being stranded, and so far no one has been stranded.
Yeah.
All that's about to change, fellas. The ship that Shackleton was on, the Endurance, is trapped in an ice floe. I did abbreviate Shackleton as just Shack here. And I like to imagine Falcon Scott writing a song called That's How I Beat Shaq. But I can't confirm that ever happened.
I've been thinking of him as Ernie Shacks most of this time.
Yeah, so Ernie Shacks is on the Endurance. It gets trapped in an ice floe, and eventually...
No amount of banjo playing could set them free.
Yeah, after a while, I was like, why did I recruit
I
like
don't
this?
think the banjo playing's helping.
Yeah.
You don't have to stop.
If anything,
just-
it's making the ice more aggressive.
It's some sort of spell. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's trapped in an ice floe for a good while, and eventually it sinks. Something cracks
Quick,
that
everyone
hole.
Sing! Sing harder, man!
Shaq and the crew...
Have the time.
That
This
reminds
time
me.
it's real melancholy.
Reminds me of an old sea chanty.
While they're watching the ship sink. Do you have the time to listen?
And it goes in the rap. Do you have the time?
Don't wanna be an American.
Don't wanna be an-
Swaying on the ice. A lonely concertina.
So they set up a camp on one of the ice floes and stay there for 2 months. Eventually, they move to a more permanent camp on a separate ice floe. At this point, they're
more suitable ice flow.
Grass is greener, right?
they are hoping the ice floe will drift to solid land.
Yeah, this looks like a good one. This looks like a good fast berg.
But ultimately, the floe breaks in two. They jump in their lifeboats and spend 5 grueling days heading for Elephant Island.
Bummer. What do they got there?
An island, like land.
Elephants?
That's what they have. There might be elephants.
Do you remember that Simpsons with when they
Monster Island?
No, the one where they're going to Ape Island.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I wish we were going to Candy Apple Island. What do they got there? Apes. They're not so big.
So that's 350 miles from where the Endurance sank. So the Endurance sank 350 miles from Elephant Island.
Uh-huh.
And they made it out there in this ice floe / life raft caper, basically. It's the first time...
Full on caper for sure now.
The Great Ice Flow Caper, yeah.
It's the first time that these men have been on solid ground in 467 days.
Okay.
Shackleton, on the trip out during the ice floe life raft bit, gave one of his crew members his own mittens and suffered frostbite as a result because the
Shacks.
crew member lost his mittens.
Dang. How the fuck are you going to be in the South Pole on a full-on caper at this point and lose your mittens? Where did you
Not
put
even
them?
have, like,
I
a
don't
backup.
know. Where did you put them?
Now,
This
you
is
understand,
important.
Jordan. He took them off to play the banjo.
I was playing the banjo. They were right here.
Can't play the banjo in mittens?
Fuck. That guy... hands are not a right. Hands are a privilege.
And when Shackleton saw that if this guy got frostbite, that's it for the banjo playing, he said no.
I guess so.
I think the last place I saw them was on the ice. God damn it. God damn it, Banjo
I remember
Dave.
putting them on ice. Everyone check ice. Maybe that was the North Pole. You dick.
Yeah, no, he was covering for the fact that he straight up forgot his mittens in the first place. He was like, I lost them. That sounds better.
You traded them, didn't you?
Yeah, I got some paws.
No.
got a ukulele.
Where'd you get the Jinkos from? No.
Jinkos, of course, having been invented the previous
Sure,
winter.
sure.
Yeah. I got the sheet music for basket case.
Yeah.
If you know another Green Day song, write to the Revisionists at revisionistpodcast at
No, I think
gmail.com.
those are all four.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Let's do that one. All right, so
I walk this lonely road, lonely road, lonely
the problem now is that no one's going to find them on Elephant Island. No one knows they went there.
Sure.
Shackleton modifies the best lifeboat for the best he can for an open boat journey to a whaling station that is 720 miles away.
Fuck me. That's a rough ride.
Yeah. He packs provisions for 4 weeks. He knows if he doesn't get by there by then, that's it. They are going to die. So he and a few other people head out on this open boat thing, and they fucking make it.
Whoa, all right.
But because of the bad seas, they have to land on the wrong side of the island.
Homie.
So basically, it's easier to cross the island than sail around to the front, right? But this is a route no one has ever taken across this island. It is 36-mile hike across dangerous mountainous terrain.
This sounds like a bad time.
And they make it.
Yes.
They make it to this whaling station. The men who are still back on Elephant Island have been there for 4.5 months when some rescue finally shows up, sent by Shackleton.
Cool.
All of the men survive.
Wow.
Even Forgot His Mittens McGee.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't deserve it,
Yeah.
he survived.
As soon as they're like, as soon as the rescue shows up, found him. I found him.
They were in my other pocket. Oh, man.
The other ship, the Aurora, that went to the other side of the Antarctic, had also been blown out to sea at some point.
Jesus.
And its men were unable to return.
That's a
They were
bad
also
run.
rescued, by a separate expedition. And they actually had, while they were there, laid out the full extent of that trail for Shackleton to arrive at. So they had done their job, even though Shackleton ain't coming. 3 of the people on the Aurora did die, including its commander.
Oh, wow.
So despite heart issues, when he gets back to London, Shackleton does volunteer for WW1.
Okay.
He's sent to Buenos Aires to try and convince some South American countries to jump on the British side of the World War I. He fails because he has never been a diplomat before. He also at this point, after the endurance stuff, he has begun drinking heavily.
Cool. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, at that point.
Also in World War I, he briefly is involved in setting up a base in Russia, but he is too sick to do much. He's getting old and sick and shit. He also trains British troops for Arctic conditions during the Russian Civil War, hoping that if they can keep the Tsar on top there, he can help develop the Russian economy with Britain. But obviously that does not happen. As Nicholas does not come out of that one okay.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for a thing we've actually already talked about. So.
Yeah. So he goes on one last sub-Arctic expedition, he decides. The Shackleton Rowett expedition. Rowett is an old friend of his who finances it.
So really, it's just like a fucking hangover type journey, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like one last fucking
Yeah, it's Las Vegas.
glory ride around.
Sure.
They're not even going to... They're just like checking out the oceans that people haven't charted around the Arctic. They're not even going on land.
I mean, honestly, I think once you start doing stuff like that, you just don't know any other life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's probably totally fair.
Got to be drunk at sea near the South Pole.
Before he leaves, Shackleton records a farewell address in what is possibly the first talking picture ever taken.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah. This guy has balloon adventures, talking picture adventures. He finances Russian mines or something, Romanian mines. He's crazy.
Got
life.
frostbite.
A weird stamp scheme. He's got everything. So he goes in 1921. On the way up to the Arctic, he starts having back pains and chest pains. And his physician says, you need to lead a more regular life.
Meaning not as much expeditioning.
Yeah, I think he's doing too much strain. He's been overdoing it, overexerting himself for a long time. Later, the Shackleton says, you always say I should give up on things. So what should I give up on? And the physician responds, chiefly alcohol, boss. Moments later, Shackleton has a fatal heart attack.
Oh, no.
So he was not giving up on that sweet booze.
He didn't even get a chance to have one last drink.
No, he took a flask out right after the doctor said
See, that would have been the move.
Yeah, this is the power move.
He tried to take it from me, friend. You know who couldn't take it from me?
from my cold.
The cruel South. Father Hunger himself.
So now he was in his final moments on his way back to that frozen bosom he loved so much, the Antarctic.
I hope you have the time of your life.
Yeah. That was January 5, 1922. There have been many, many monuments commemorating him. And respect for his leadership style and how he handled his men has increased over the years. Green Day wrote a song about him.
Sure.
And that part was a lie, but the rest of it was the true story
The honest gospel.
of Ernest Shackleton, the man who saved his crew and the only member of our Stranded series where probably not a lot of people are going to die, only 22 dogs.
And like 3 people on a different ship.
But that wasn't really the story.
And maybe a lion?
Maybe a lion.
Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. Also, I have never once in my life wished I had a deeper well of Green Day references until today.
I'm pretty happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
That was enough for my purposes.
That bit didn't need to go longer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I was going to say this for the end, Jordan, but as a reward for coming on our show, we got you 2 tickets to the Jukebox musical American Idiot.
Oh, no. Why would you do that to me?
And you are required to go.
And here to take you is Green Day. Take them away, boys. Green Day's here to arrest you.
Every week, Denver's own Real Nerds podcast sees a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world.
I think sometimes we're funny.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm talking, not when you're talking, not when you're talking.
Oh,
You know, it might help if you told them that we're on iTunes or we're on Stitcher so they could find a place where you can actually listen to us.
Oh, okay, Brad. We're also on Twitter at Real Nerds, and we have an Instagram account. Boom. Commercial, Brad. Cut, paste, upload. We like to have fun.
Sure. I like fun.
James, you're very bad at improv. RealNerdsPodcast.com.
Okay, well, I got one for you. I think I need you guys to help me flesh this out a little bit.
Okay.
But my interpretation of Ernest Shackleton is, in fact, the man upon whom the Ernest adventures, the Ernest saga, the Ernest Chronicles,
Savor of Christmas, Genocider of
Savor
Trolls,
of Christmas,
Escaper of Prison,
Savor
This
of
building
Camps,
is on fire. Gremlins 2.
Goer 2 of Jail. I believe
His titles are many.
I believe he was Slam Dunk Ernest at a point. There was the Lost Ernest movie. Do you know what I'm talking
Friend
about?
of Vern?
Yeah, friend of Vern. That's Ernest.
Yeah, that's actually the Ernest Appreciation Society is Friends of Vern.
Friends of Vern, for sure, is what it is. Oh, a little pin. A little Friend of Vern pin.
Nice.
It's a little turtle from Saves Camp.
Looking up that Facebook group later.
For sure. Jesus, if you guys want to start the Friends of Vern Facebook group, I am 100% down to moderate that shit. That's actually Ernest Shackleton. He's the historical figure upon which the Ernest capers. And what do you got? What do you got?
Sorry, I've tried. The first thing that came up when I Googled Ernest was Ernest Saves Christmas.
Of course. He did. It was a huge
it's
news
probably
story.
The flagship of the Ernest series.
We're here, listeners, we're here on December the 23rd. So whether Ernest Saves Christmas this year, still unclear.
He might not this year. And then we'll see who's laughing.
The first highlighted review on Google just says there's no sex, violence, or language to speak of, which makes Ernest Save Christmas a fairly safe, if not exactly heartwarming option for families.
That's so funny.
3 out of 5. Emily Ashby of Common Sense Media.
Ernest is a sexless, morose fellow, but he did save Christmas.
He's a sexless imp. Is really it.
More or less.
I'm trying to see if there's a Wikipedia entry for the Ernest series.
Sure.
While we're doing that,
Yeah, well, but that is Ernest Shackleton is the historical character upon which the Ernest saga was based. He too went to school and found that it wasn't quite wacky enough for him. He failed to save Christmas a number of times while at school. And the Shackleton part, actually, those are the shackles represented by Ernest Goes to Jail.
right.
Which he did. He went to jail for a while. He managed to caper and cartoon his way out.
Right.
And won the hearts of America and Europe at the same time. He also...
Blazing the trail for other jail goers such as Tim Robbins and
Sure.
Paddington.
Absolutely. Oh, God. Love that Paddington.
Yeah.
Love that Paddington.
Also, I might cut this out and release this as a bonus episode, but apparently Ernest was created by a Nashville advertising agency,
Sure.
Cardin and Cherry.
Who found the original Ernest Shackleton frozen in ice.
Yeah, it's like
Captain
a fucking Captain
America
America style.
Exactly.
Was used in various local television ad campaigns. The only national products he promoted were the Coca-Cola Company's sodas, Chex, and Taco John's.
The Coca-Cola Company's sodas, huh? Which ones? Specifically, which ones could you be talking about?
And, we were talking about those Orson Welles drunk commercials, but the Ernest drunk commercials are one of the real golds.
man.
He only ever got drunk when he was recording a commercial. Never drank except when he had a commercial.
Except for commercials, because he hated capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Ernest P. Worrell, friend of the worker. There is a whole Wikipedia entry for Ernest Worrell. So
It's Worrell.
As there should be. In fact, I should hope there's multiple.
Ernest P. Worrell is a fictional character, of course, based on Ernest Shackleton.
I hope when you get to when you look at his Wikipedia article, I hope there's a section where it's like Ernest Saves Christmas. For more details, see Christmas 1947. Well, I guess it was probably like 87.
See Ernest Shackleton.
Or, frankly, Christmas 1982 through present. Because
Sure. and the real Ernest's path took more of the same trajectory as old Mitten Free McGee. He was like, I lost my dang mittens again.
Well, he's a composite character.
Sure. And then the next time he showed up, he was dressed all in mittens, which was hilarious. He was like, never gonna lose another one.
Smash cut to him naked on the
Naked.
street. He's got a barrel.
Naked on an iceberg. Let me come over to y'all's iceberg. Ooh, come on. I'm so cold. Burn. Just gets quieter and quieter as his ice.
But the best part of that
floats
movie
away.
was the post-credit cut where Ernest shiftily goes into a closet and he opens it full of mittens.
Full of
An
mittens.
extra pair.
Yeah, of course. Then fucking Nick Fury shows up.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'd like to invite you to the Ernest
Been
initiative.
taking those mittens all along.
They bust in on him pulling like a pan of mittens out of the oven, drinking a mug of mittens. This is my wife. A bunch of mittens.
Yeah, he just rolls over in bed, puts his arm around a bunch of mittens.
Yeah. And again, the similar trajectory, but he was in fact looking for the West Pole and did find it under the sea.
Yeah, you don't hear about the West or the East Pole.
They're out there.
Yeah.
They keep moving. Are you talking about Magnetic West
Or True West, starring...
True West?
Oh, wait, that's just a play. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's talking about North, starring Bruce Willis.
Yeah, of course. Greatest movie ever made.
Talk about Southwest.
And of course,
Rich
the soundtrack
baby
to North...
Southwest.
The soundtrack to North performed entirely by Bruno, I think.
True.
Well, that was
Anyway.
some direction fun.
Yeah. Love a good direction goof.
God damn.
So he's looking for the West Pole.
Looking for the West Pole, discovers it deep beneath the waves, doesn't know how to get down there, invents the diving bell. Goes down in a diving bell. He's like, wow, I found it. Here it is, the pole.
That's why they called Ernest the James Cameron of his day.
That's true, yes. The cord gets severed to the surface, and he's stuck in the diving bell
Wow.
for the next 100 or so years. That's where he's frozen.
Oh, okay.
Found by the advertising agency. They thaw him out. They're like, what's your deal? And just with his capers and his antics, they were like, we got to get this guy out there shilling for Coca-Cola. But of course he couldn't
This is
because
sad,
he
though, because-
he was an ageless ghoul at this point.
By now, Vern would be long dead.
Yeah, but Vern is like, it's a title. Passed
Is it like
on.
the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, where it's kind of like...
No,
It's not like a
it's-
Bucky thing?
It's more like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Oh, okay.
They're- for each age has a Vern, and each Vern
I see.
its age. And same for Ernest. They're
Like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
right. Like we are currently sadly in a post-Ernest age, or
Oh, no.
at least a transitional Ernest period.
Right.
But
As we wait for the new Ernest
the
promise.
next- the
As
next Ernest.
Christmas approaches.
precisely,
Yeah.
And Ernest
Ernest-
comes among us again.
we hope an
He'll get
Ernest will
called
walk among
just
us.
in time for Ernest Ocarina of Time.
Right.
To, again, defeat...
and somewhere in the Himalayas, a child is... The objects are laid before a child to choose from.
It's a sweat riddled hat, a sweat ruined hat, a denim vest
And some
that
mittens.
smells like eggs erroneous. A jar of authentic Bulgarian miak, and of course the shine and polished skull of the third Vern.
And the Ernest song begins anew.
Yeah. Do you remember in Ernest Goes to Camp when Ernest? Do you remember in Ernest Goes to Camp when Ernest walks out into the rain and sings a very melancholy song to himself?
I vaguely remember this.
It goes, gee, I'm glad it's raining. 'Cause no one sees your teardrops when it rains. Something like that.
Yeah. Second verse, of course. I walk alone.
Yeah.
Road, the only-
But that is my revisionist history of Ernest Shackleton. Is the character based on upon whom the Ernest films are
in
based.
fact, was.
Died frozen in the ice while searching for the West Pole.
To cover up his history, he took the name. What was the name of the actor?
Jim
Varney.
Well, see, no, Jim Varney was he was not Ernest Shackleton. Ernest
he played him in the
Shackleton was
movies.
simply the inspiration.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he's an actor. That's-
Ernest Shackleton is a historical figure who, again, saved Christmas, slam dunked, went to
to
jail,
camp.
Right.
went to camp,
Right.
was scared stupid, unfortunately, for a period
that
of
was a
time.
yeah, that's when he had sleeping sickness.
Exactly. Regained his senses and then was in the army, and then unfortunately died before a planned excursion as a pirate. Did you know that there's an unreleased Ernest movie?
How did they not release an Ernest movie?
It's unfinished.
If they
it's
had it-
unfinished.
Oh no, okay.
Ernest the Pirate.
It's like the Magnificent Ambersons of the Ernest.
It's been
universe.
long enough. We need a new Ernest. This is what
Ernest-
this broken world needs.
Ernest
You know what?
Freedom
Get Taylor
Now.
Lautner on the phone. He's our new Ernest.
In the age of Trump, the only solace is a new Ernest.
Hashtag Pirate Ernest Now.
Get the Friends of Troy Vern on this.
Friends of Vern, you heard the call.
The Friends of Vern, of course, given millions to representatives and senators in order to get the last Ernest movie released.
True.
God damn it, Jordan! Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Before we move on, listeners, we of course ask that you review this podcast on your podcast service of choice. If you're as fevered as I am right now, you'll give us 5 stars and just talk about Ernest for a while.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
We hope that the review section for our podcast becomes a forum for Ernest.
Friends of Vern.
Friends of
It
Vern.
started here. You hear the call, Friends of Vern.
If that domain is not taken, I might put it on my.
I think we need to make that Facebook page tonight.
Exactly.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I would love an invite.
Invite, you're a moderator, my friend.
I'm honored.
Of course, strict community
Right,
guidelines for the
sure.
Friends of Vern.
You know,
Sure.
heavy is the head that wears the cap.
That's true. That's true. We'll have no talk of the Beverly Hillbillies movie. Great movie. This isn't the board for it, guys.
Right.
This
We don't
isn't
want
the
your
board
Toy
for it.
Story shit in here, all right?
Yeah, yeah. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Was Vern in Toy Story? I didn't think so.
No, of course not.
Wait, was he?
You can also contact us via our website, revisionistpodcast.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're a proud member of the Denver Podcast Network, along with such shows as One More Shot, which is actually produced by people who don't talk about Ernest. Believe it or not.
Motherfuckers.
But still, listen anyway. It's a great show. Hosted by Elaine Grant, formerly of Colorado Public Radio, about people's reinvention stories, much like the Ernest reboot coming 2019.
Oh, it'll be gritty like Pepsi Man.
Yeah.
I'm liking Chadwick Boseman for Ernest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Dang, that's good. Chadwick Boseman as Ernest. Vern has gone missing. Vern's gone missing at sea, searching for the tomb of the original Ernest.
Nice. I'm liking this, yeah.
Maybe Vern has aged, whereas Ernest hasn't.
Sure.
So you
Anyway,
have
he
like
doesn't know
Chadwick
why.
Boseman for Ernest, and like I don't know, what's that fucking guy? Not Richard Gere. We can do Richard Gere.
Yeah,
Richard Gere's
for
fine.
Vern.
Yeah, Richard Gere's
Robert
dude.
Redford.
You'd think Ernest Resurrection, but I think you got to go with like Ernest Goes to Be Reborn.
Sure. Ernest goes to the ends of the earth.
Ernest goes to Prometheus or whatever.
Yeah. Ernest punches the face of God.
Just Ernest looking at God. Do you believe?
Ernest in the flame of eternity. Ernest mocks death
Of course, Ernest chained to the rock as the birds peck out his liver every day.
for all eternity.
You know when Ernest plays chess against death, he's going to have those checkers on that board.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God. Oh, that's a wonderful. Oh, I want to see that. Stop goofing around, Ernest. This is an important death game.
If there's anyone who does oil paintings in our audience, I need to commission that painting right now.
Ernest playing chess with death, but he's got checkers out and he's spilling them everywhere. Whoops!
This ain't even checkers, it's a sorry board.
Oh no! You any good at sorry? My buddy Vern is.
The game of life, you don't like that, do you, Dad?
He would definitely play death at the game of life. That's really funny. And then at the end, I think he finds Vern, and they're reunited in bliss.
I'm lightheaded. Jordan, you're time this comes out, you'll only be in town a few more days.
I only exist until Christmas, and then I fade away.
Of course.
Until
He's the
January
Brigadoon
1st.
of
Yeah. I'll be born again on January 1st, and I'll age throughout the year, and hopefully I can come back on the podcast next year.
Yeah, of course. It's a weird Benjamin Button thing you got going on.
He has an extremely long white beard. He is
That is true.
his leather-worn skin.
I have a sash that says 2018.
He's still only wearing a diaper.
That's true. It's a nice diaper.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
a
full.
quality diaper. I'm sure it would have to be at this
it's
point.
lasted.
It has to be like really the best diaper.
It's a little yellowed, but it's still functional.
It gets me where I need to go.
Just
Except for the bathroom.
his cup runneth over,
to speak.
and that cup is a diaper.
It's a diaper.
It's called Ernest Goes to Camp, not Jordan Goes to the Bathroom. Okay.
Wait a minute.
God fucking damn it. But listeners, Jordan is the best.
You're the best.
Yeah, you can follow him on all the social media, Twitter, Instagram,
I'm
at Razor Lou. I
At
think
Razor
on both.
Lou on those things. I should change that, right? I should have a human name.
I mean, at this point, I don't think it matters.
It's kind of a brand, but mostly all I hear about is people being like, what does Razor Lou mean? And I just burst into tears. I don't know.
Shout out Jason Wardell at Hams Aplenty.
Hams aplenty. See, that's great. It was those heady early internet days. Handles were all the rage. Neo was guiding us.
Of course, yeah, that was when that was happening.
Yeah.
Um,
That
He got
isn't
into that red pill shit, and now it's all gone downhill.
Isn't it fucking great that if me and Jason Wardell got woke up from the Matrix, it would be like, I give you Razor Lou and Hams aplenty. Your new agents. I guess not agents.
yeah, when you're jacked in, you're Razor Lou.
I want to see that end of that movie where, Hugo Weaving's got you and he's like, Mr. Doll.
It's really funny.
It's Razor Lou!
Razor Lou! Oh, God, that's what it would be if they were actually waking people up from the Matrix. Be like, this is Bongzilla 420XX and Dick Lord.
And this is Dolly Parton fan 629.
Yeah. Humanity's last hope.
And here is actually, this one is racist. Do not want to.
Can't say this one. He's the one. We're all bummed.
But Zach, you you didn't have anything you wanted to mention. I'll edit that out. As for me, I co-host
Actually, coming up, I am going to be me and Shannon, sometimes guest of this podcast, and usually my girlfriend are going to be...
Wait, usually.
I mean, there are times in history where it's not true.
Okay.
The 1800s comes to mind.
Yeah, of course.
Most of the Cretaceous.
The Babylonian times. Yeah. Most of the Cretaceous. There was a time when you were both dinosaurs.
Sure.
That'd be beautiful.
We're hosting the January episode of Josh Hollis, who created the artwork for this very podcast,
Yes,
friend
indeed.
of ours. We don't thank him enough for it. He has a podcast called The Predicticast, and me and Shannon are guest hosting. The premise is we watch 10 minutes of a movie we know nothing about and try to predict what will happen in the remaining runtime of the movie.
I love that.
Yeah, so that episode, which we're co-hosting, will be out in January, but you can check out other episodes now.
And Josh Hollis is terrific. And he's done a lot of podcast outwork, not just ourselves,
Yeah.
but Stage of Fools, right?
Yep, absolutely. He gets that Photoshop. He makes those deep fakes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got it.
Don't ask Anna Kendrick about him. She's not persona non grata. I'm just kidding. He does not make porn of celebrities.
Dear God, Josh Hollis is an upstanding man. We should not drag his name through the mud.
He uses Photoshop to make Simpsons porn. What? Meg is there. What?
Can't a man on Christmas Day not enjoy some Simpsons porn?
Yeah. A few pictures of Obama murdering babies. That's all.
Sure. Gil from The Simpsons getting cocked. What?
Predicticast coming up in January. As for me, I co-host Queen City Companion with Jen Colick, friend of the show, the first Thursday of every month at Mutiny Information Cafe. It's an all-fall storytelling show. It's full of whimsy and wonder, and it's the best, and such a fun time. Check that out. Judgment falls to me this episode.
Right.
Which I don't... Zach, you did a wonderful job with the actual history, but I don't think we live in a universe where I cannot go with the alternate history in this case.
See, here's the thing. The alternate history is textured and whimsical, albeit muddled. But I gotta say, that's a tough history to top. Shackleton?
Yeah, it's really...
Ernie Shacks? Oh, he was dunking from way on high.
Yeah.
I don't, you know what? I'll take it. I'm not going to argue myself out of the big W here. But
Well, that's just my vote. Listeners, it's now open for you to have your say in what has been a fever dream of
We all
an...
know that Friends of Troy community is going to smash that alternate history button.
Friends of Vern.
Friends of
come
Vern. I keep on
on.
saying Friends of Troy. Who fuck is Troy?
Who is Troy? Where did he
is
come
Troy?
from? Are we thinking Vern Troyer?
You know what?
Yes, that has to be... And of course...
Dude. Wow.
And you know what? In 2018, we should all have been thinking of Vern Troyer.
Right?
Big ups.
Fuck 2018.
Man.
Ernest, we need you now more than ever. Somewhere, a greasy cap and a fist just bursts from the earth.
A series of beacons is lit upon mountaintops. The eagles of Guajir have flown to Jim Varney.
A blind monk lifts his head in the night. He returns.
Yes, come.
A crow rests upon the eaves of a house.
Ew.
Tell the people that the winter is over.
White smoke billows from the Vatican. We have a new Vern.
And through slot canyons, you hear it echo. Ew.
A child's first words are Vern.
Know what I mean?
A cat gives birth to a litter of snakes.
And at last, Vern does know what we mean.
Oh, God damn it. For everyone here at The Revisionists, I'm Brian Flynn.
I'm Zach Powers.
In the flesh. Jordan Dahl, thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good time. Happy New Year.
Have a good time, Vern. December 29th, 1835. The Treaty of New Icata cedes all lands of the Cherokee east of the Mississippi to the You know what? This one's a little depressing. Let's go with December 20... No, that's part of it.
No, oh, sorry. Oh. Okay.